Today, all I can say is stay. Stay. And I know that may not be easy to hear, and this one word might bring fear, but stay. Stay when goodbye feels easier than hello. Stay when the heaviness begins to hurt and the future feels fragile. Stay for sunsets and sunrise and surprises that do somersaults straight into your soul. Stay for the wonder that sneaks up on you. Stay for the love hidden in tomorrow, for the coffee at the corner diner, for the peace of the wild unknown, for the joy of being seen and known. Stay for the reunions, for late night pizza around crowded tables, for the whispers of grace and peace. Stay to see how the story unfolds. Stay for the music that feels like medicine. Stay for the words you haven't yet spoken, the dreams you haven't yet dreamed. Stay to see who you are becoming. For the road untraveled, the mercy and the miles and the hope that will never leave your side. Stay to wake to another day that could be the best day. Stay to shake your soul awake. Stay for confetti cake because confetti cake is good. And I know today is hard and tomorrow might be too, but move closer to see the beauty found within all that has come to be. Let the light shine through all the cracks, scars, and questions and stay. Stay. And I know there are days when the last thing you want to do is stay, but if you stay for today, then I'll see you tomorrow. And tomorrow is worth staying for. Maybe tomorrow we can have some confetti cake. Today.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Confetti cake is good. I ain't gonna hold you. Now, the type of icing you want to put on it, that's what will make it nasty. But confetti cake is good. Good morning. See, Mr. Goodbar says, Miss V, hi. Hi, good morning. CP3, what's up? Good morning. How are y'all doing? So I found out last night, you said wedding cake be smoking. Okay. Especially the next day when you're trying to get over that hangover from the wedding. Wedding cake is good. I love, what type of cake do I like? I like cheesecake, but that's not the type of cake I'm talking about because we started off talking about confetti cake. I enjoy, like yellow cake. I enjoy yellow cake, but I don't like thick icing. So I like the light whipped icing, but like a thin layer. I don't need too much on my cake or my cupcake. You know how many people I offended by accident because I will take a napkin or paper towel and take a bunch of that icing off if you OD. Pound cake is good. It's bad for you, but it's good. And then if you get some like fresh strawberries and like some whipped cream, and they're like swimwear. But yeah, I found out yesterday, which I'm slacking in my Mac, and I don't know how I forgot. But today is Mental Health Awareness Day. Did you guys know that? Well, pause. It shouldn't sound like that. That's not what it was intended to sound like. Did you guys know that today is Mental Health Awareness Day? Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I forgot. And then I seen something that said it, so I went to check it out, and I said, "Oh snap!" And it was perfect when I seen it because I was trying to decide what I wanted to talk about this morning anyway, if I was gonna go live. So I already did my stretching. It's a little chilly. I'm not beat for stretching right now. I know doing it in a live. I am gonna share on my wall the video that I was gonna do. I got it. It's the same lady. I think her name is Caroline Jordan. And the last one that I did, I think a week ago, that was a 5 minute one that I did twice. So I guess make it 10 minutes. Um, this one I found yesterday was, I think, 10, 15 minutes. So then I'm going to share that to the wall since I didn't do it with whoever would have wanted to do it this morning because it's a little chilly. So I said, no, I'll stretch in my home. Yeah, this is not going to be a long live. Oh, I got probably about like 20 minutes. So it'll be long enough for y'all to get the gist of it. And then, like you always should do, you do your own research. There's really no research to it. I really don't even have to look that up to read, but I can just for ideas. This live is basically about how we can keep our mental intact. Not just intact, but we want it to be thriving. You know, we don't want to just be coasting along. The goal is to be great, even though every day it's not going to be bubblegum ice cream. We don't want it to be thunderstorms and chaos. Let me see. I deleted your comment too. Yeah, I seen that, which is scary stuff. Oh yeah, who you calling scary? You. I said, hey, go live. You just don't, and then you deleted it. And I just started cracking up. What did you delete it for? Hence why you scary, honey. But you know that. And if you didn't know, your sister-in's gonna tell you that was some scary mess. Good morning, V. Good morning, Eclipse. How are you? Mr. Goodbar said it's a lot of mental cases on YouTube for sure. It's a lot of mental cases in this world that we live in. So that's a fact. But you want everybody that needs help to get help. And sometimes we don't even know we need help. And all the time we gotta help ourselves. You said go live just so you can tippity type. Support is support. Don't be ungrateful. Try to motivate you. Duh. Don't get do not get fresh with me. That's not nice. Why was I thinking that before I tap in this live? Were you thinking what? Eclipse. What was you thinking? Yeah, 'cause you said duh. You're getting smart. That's not nice. All right, so let me see. Yeah, the goal is to keep our mentals intact, but not just intact. We want it to be thriving because it all starts at the top. Oh, yeah, no, I want them to get help, but I want them to stay away from over here. Stay far away from over here if you got some ish going on with you, but still get the help that you need. F&M says blessings. Good morning, F&M. F&M, did you know that today was International Mental Health Day or World Mental Health Day? Even though every day is Mental Health Day, because I forgot. And then when I was sitting there thinking about things I wanted to talk about this morning and just scrolling, I seen that. I said, okay, bet. Let's talk about that. Because there's definitely a lot of people that need help, whether it's small or large. And really, if you can nip the small things in the bud and figure out a way to not necessarily fix it, but to maintain it in a healthy way before it becomes a big thing, that's dope. I think I heard it a few days ago, but I didn't really keep track. Yeah, I said, you know what? Why not? You know, my morning lives are not long, but I wanted to talk about something specific and not just chit chat because I did that last night. So I'm gonna have my team lost, but we're not gonna go there. So let's see. Mhm. Well, for starters, what is a hobby that you guys like to do when you have time to do it? Do you guys have a hobby? Taking a break never hurts. Taking a break never hurts, especially if you're already been giving it some thought. Whoever supports you will be there when you get back. And if they're not, that's fine. Others will come if that's a resolution that you have. CP3, bless your soul. Don't antagonize me this morning. I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it. Oh my God. I don't want to talk about it. Can't believe that crap. It's a good word I said. Weightlifting and writing. That's good. That's good. I think having a hobby is important. But I don't mind. It's the devil's playground. My Ravens injured and our defense is trash. I can't talk. But yet, you was talking, right? Hmm. Ain't that something? Colts, Eclipse, did they win? When y'all play? When did y'all play? And we have an early bye. Who wants an early bye? Hmm, I mean, hold on. Such an old young lady. Talking. All right, my bad, y'all. Somebody was calling me. Number one team in the league. That's all that matters. Mm. Bring back the Redskins. Bump Washington. Lord. So annoyed with that. Okay. So the definition for World Mental Health Day, which is October 10th, which is today, says it's an international day for global mental health education, awareness, and advocacy against social stigma. Because we don't want to make people feel like crap because they got mental health issues, but we do want to encourage them to get some type of help. Um, it was first celebrated in 1992, at the initiative of the World Federation for Mental Health, a global mental health organization with members and contacts in more than 150 countries. So this is something that's recognized all around the world. What y'all talking about? Oh. So yeah, I think that's something that really should be talked about more than just one day out the year. But because I realized that it was World Mental Health Day, I want to talk about it. All right, so Mr. Goodbar said what he does as a hobby in his spare time. CP3, what do you do as a hobby besides be where the drama resides on the YouTubes? What you like to do in your spare time? If you have spare time to be doing stuff, what you do? What about you, Eclipse and F&M? Do you guys have hobbies, things you like to do in your spare time? You love to create? That's a blessing. Good. And that would definitely keep you busy, keep your mind busy. Many people are living with mental health issues. A lot of people never go to get them checked out or properly diagnosed. It's very true because there's a big stigma on it. Gaming, smoking, drinking, hooping. Well, the hooping is definitely good because that's another thing that is good for mental health is getting outside and exercising or even just being social. You don't want to be a recluse. I ain't gonna judge you about the smoking and the drinking. So F&M, that's very true because there's a big stigma. I want to say, especially in the black community, especially for black men, but I'm just gonna keep it broad. It's a stigma, a big stigma. Hold on. And a lot of people, they don't want to go and try therapy either because there's a stigma on that. They feel like it's not gonna help or it's a waste of time or this or that. So they either keep it bottled up to themselves or they unload and unpack all their stuff onto their family members and friends or maybe their spouse, which is nothing wrong with having a support system. The goal is to have a support system. Everybody should have a support system, even if it's only a couple of people, even if it's only one person. But where it becomes tricky and almost like a burden is when you're unloading everything onto those people because we all have our own plights in life, you know, and sometimes that can be a little overwhelming depending on who you're dealing with, who you're, unloading your stuff onto and what they may or may not have going on in their own lives. So you definitely want to find a way to not treat, but kind of, what I want to say, you want to find healthy ways to maneuver without putting it all on other people. I think therapy is a good thing, and at least try it. And shoot, the same way, you know, when men go to find a barber, that might they're not gonna always go to one barber and be like, okay, yeah, this is my guy. You might have to go through a couple to find out if you're not lucky. Same for women when they go get their hair done or when they get their nails done. Not everybody, everybody's not your cup of tea. So even if you try it and you're like, nah, I'm not digging this person or whatever the case may be, I don't mean you give up. You just try another one, a different one, that's all. She said, F&M says, yes, writing scripts, learning AI, making movies, reading scriptures, encouraging others. All positive things. All positive things. I find my therapy through the Lord. I definitely believe that a lot of people do need to go see a professional. And sometimes it's a combination of both. Most times it may be a combination of both. And I think another stigma is that people think like, oh, people that go to see therapy, like you're like at rock's bottom. Everything is just effed up. You're effed up. You're toxic. You're this. And really, sometimes it's just to go and talk. There's people that only go see their therapist or talk to their therapist about once a week, twice a week, on some like just checking in type of ish. There's others that need it more. There's people that have did therapy for years and are at good places in their life, but they still keep in contact with their therapist, kind of keeps them grounded. You know what I mean? I've encountered people that needed to take some type of medicine. They took the medicine, and once they started feeling better, they stopped taking the medicine. And then it was like a whole cycle that's repeated because there's a stigma on medicine too. And I understand why that is because they be lying to us about stuff. So I would never just tell somebody like, oh, off the bat, just take some medicine because they say you need some medicine. Try what you can try first. But if that doesn't work, you might need to take some medicine. But that's between you and your doctor. There's people that are depressed because they're overweight, but they don't exercise, but they're able bodied. They're able to exercise, but they don't. Doesn't mean that you have to instantly start going ham in the gym, but you want to get that body moving. You want to try, you know? If it's the reverse and you want to gain weight, and that's something that might have you a little depressed, man or woman, you need to look into ways of how you can gain weight in a healthy way. Don't be depressed or sad because you small and you want to, be a little bigger. Same for men that want to have their body be a certain way, or even if it's just a health thing, go to the gym. If you don't have no gym membership, look up different things you can do outside of having to go to the gym. It can't hurt. It's better than being stagnant. If you don't like your job, start putting applications in. If you don't have a job, you definitely need to be putting applications in. And don't feel like you're too good to work at a specific place. Because there's a lot of people that have too much pride to work certain places, but they don't have too much pride to ask people for things, which doesn't make any sense. You know, you want to be productive and try to get ahead of the curve. So that way you're not put in a situation where now you have to react. You take the proper precautions. You don't have to react because you're already on it, depending on what it is. But it's better than just being stagnant. Hey, Dragon, good morning. He said, man, what in the, this is my confession, is going on up in here? It's Friday. We just woke up not too long ago. It's the beginning of the week. Beginning of the, oh yeah, it is. Why am I sitting here? And you know what? I was on, you could tell, I'm glad I deleted that live last night because I said, oh, I hope everybody has a good start to their week. I know they was in there like, what is she talking about? It ain't Sunday. It's Thursday. That's funny. Beginning of the weekend, and we got the unmitigated gall to talk about weight. So sad. You obviously didn't read the description. You didn't read nothing. You just jumped right in, huh? Today is World Mental Health Day. Okay, so I'm just discussing things we can do to maintain a healthy, happy mental state. Because I feel like that's important. And you know what doesn't help? People coming out the woodwork first thing in the morning, badgering people instead of just saying, "Good morning, V." Liberated Soul says, "Much love, sis, and look out, chat. Hope everybody is good." Yes, that's the goal. He said, "My God, would you shut up already with your coffee sipping?" See, bless y'all souls. Bless y'all souls. Yeah, you lucky you did, because I for sure would have been on your heels. And that's a that's not nice. I'm trying to help y'all. Dragon, I know you got my message. See you out here ignoring people messages, badgering folks first thing in the day. That's not good. And I done got sidetracked. So annoying. What was I saying? Yeah, we want to take precautions so that way we're not in a situation to where now we have to react. Okay? Because it starts at the top. The fish rots from the head down. You guys ever hear that before? We want to try to be on top of things. Basically means mainly in like business, like in businesses or workplaces, but like if the leadership ain't ish, everything under it is gonna fall to the wayside. So in this context, meaning you gotta make sure your mental is on point because that controls everything. And if your mental is not on point, nothing else is gonna be on point, and neither are you. That's what that means. But I think y'all catch my gist. Really be in tune of what you got going on mentally. Make that a priority. The same way we choose to make other things that are not, you know, so important a priority in our lives. Really be glued in on what you got going on and what type of time you're on. And if you're able to notice it and peep it, do something about it. Find a hobby, exercise. I'm telling you, girl, if you gotta flip the switch and change up how how you living, the people you dealing with, do that. Whatever you need to do it. And if you're not sure what to do, find somebody to talk to. There's not wrong with that. I gotta go. I hope everybody has a good rest of your day. Bye.